Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day Sports College Football 2019, episode number 14. Got our mid-major Mountain West Conference Olympic Decathlon rings after a 1-11 season. Number 2 is now in the books. We're ready to start up season number 3. Before we do that, though, a little bit of a recap of where we left off. National championship done and dusted. But after that, we got our final results in recruiting, and every offer we had out there, every one of them has signed. So we've managed to get all 21 of those guys. But here is the thing. There is an update. We've got a player transfer. Carlos Kearns has decided to transfer. Now, here's the thing. If Wolverine Studios, if you happen to see this, something I'd love for you to address. Carlos Kearns has decided to transfer. Okay, well, that's news. However, he no longer shows up on my roster. It doesn't say what position he plays. I have no idea who this guy is off the top of my head. So I have lost Carlos Kearns. I have no idea if he was a senior, a junior, or a freshman, an incoming player. And again, position. So I don't know what grade he is, or what position he is, or what his ratings were. All I know is Carlos Kearns is gone. So technically, I do have one scholarship now available, and there are players out there that are transferring. I could potentially go after someone. To be honest with you, I have no idea who to go after, because I don't know what position without really breaking down and looking through. And for one player, am I going to do that? No, not really. I could go after the number 309 running back out there in Jay Moore, but I don't know the first thing about this guy, whether he's actually good or okay. No. I was thinking community college there for a second, but yeah, I don't know the first thing about the guy that I'm replacing. So without doing some investigative work, I'm not going to have an answer to that. And I'm going to save that investigative work for our preparation for season 3, deciding what positions to fill there. So I'm just going to hang on to that extra scholarship and let that guy transfer out, and I'll deal with it next season. We're still apparently in recruiting. Let's see, is there a calendar of some kind? Let me think here. I know there is for the college basketball game. School info, team schedule, season recaps. We'll get a new recap here in a little bit. School records, team news. Nothing there. You're welcome. That's about the college basketball game. So we've got a Pittsburgh Steelers logo here. Let's see. Walk-on strategy, training, depth chart, quick team stats. No. Almanac seems like a good place. Could it be? No. How about association? Association schedule. Maybe. No, that's just week 16, the final week. How about info? Maybe anything, something. Oh, well, hello there. There's all sorts of interesting new stuff here. Well, let's see where we fit into this interesting new stuff that's here. We have 34, that is our prestige. We have 64 players right now, so that's actually pretty good compared to a lot of teams. 75.2, what is that? Average overall. And you can see just how much of a struggle life is for us suddenly. But it's actually still not the worst. Old Dominion, considerably worse than us. South Alabama, a bit worse. So we've kept it above 75. Let's see, what do we have? Fan base is 24, fan approval, and what's the last one? Bandwagon. Who wants to jump on our bandwagon? Just a few people. So 2s and 3s there. Not very good scores on that. Not very good scores, but definitely not the worst. Alrighty. Still not what I was looking for counter-wise, and let's just move it forward. Working. Please wait. Okay. That was a good wait. League is advanced to staff signing week number 1. Speaking of staff, Kirkwood wants a new contract. Didn't we just give you a new contract this last year? Well, you only have 0 years left, so I suppose that kind of makes sense. You are 1.5 stars. Are you going to staff signing? Do I have... there we go. Click to view coaches. He is just 1.5 stars, and let's look at his profile. Good for development, and actually that's good for us. He is loyal. Provides good leadership. Decent recruiter. Actually, for me, that's decent. That is decent. Not great at individual positions. But let's view coaches real quick. See what's available before we necessarily get after him. We need a defensive coordinator, yes. There's definitely some 2-star options here. And guys that are still affordable to us. I mean, we have a budget of $10 million. No. And we could improve, right? Going from 1.5 stars to 2 stars. I'm not even going to look at these two guys. But let's take a look at each of these. Whoa, nice loyalty. But that's kind of it. Not the president. I don't care about loyalty and nothing else. That's all I'll say about that. Good recruiter. Okay, good for physical. But again, not really. These guys aren't jumping out at me so far. We might just keep them. Flexibility. And Kirkwood profile. Thank you for having that available. Yeah, development 3. Better than anybody else. Not necessarily a good position coach. But he's flexible. He's got good leadership. He's got very good loyalty. He's got good development. And is a good defensive coach. And at least he can kind of recruit. So let's do it. $2.5 million. Ooh, $2.5 million for 7 years. I don't really want 7 years. Well, it's going to take a while before we turn this program around. So there you go. He's got an offer in. We'll close that. re-signed 2.5 years, $7 million. Yeah. This does say experiences 2 now. Is there an upgrade to my profile? Not yet. Not yet. I can fire myself. It can be done. So, yeah. Yeah, he's re-signed, so let's do it. Are you gonna forward? Ish. What's going on here? Signing day now. Get me out of here. Signing day. I'm not sure what we just proceeded through. Staff signing. Yeah, it just said staff signing. I don't know. But yeah, signing day. Get out there, recruit players, one more glance. Again, I have one, but it's just transfers at this point, and I said I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm not over one position that I couldn't even tell you who we lost. All right, so here is our review of recruits. Ouch, our tackles are garbage. But they're both high potential guys, just not high quality now kind of guys. But look at that, we've got our punters a 77 already, and then we get into our field players, and we're already at 3-star guys here. We're in mid-70s almost right away, and then 80 plus for the tight end. One of the wide receivers, which I think is already the best wide receiver we've got, coming in as a freshman there is Pitman Collins, transfer from South Carolina, who we signed last year? Or I just got one that I didn't recruit because I had a scholarship left open? Or is that the guy from last year? 84. Quarterback coming in at an 84 from Hillsboro. Where? Nice. Very nice. Clark, the kicker, at an 84. And the other tight end. That's 2 really good tight ends coming in. Wilkins, which was our big signee, along with William Ware. So Sean Pittman was the other big one, the wide receiver, and he's the 81, so not quite as good right now. Hopefully some of that will play off as potential. But that was a big recruiting class for us comparatively. So we're into the new season and training camps, and it's theoretically it's time to take a look and start recruiting. But let's look at the email first and see if that's the case. This year's recruiting class. So, with our final recruiting class for this season, the Athletic Board has provided the following evaluation. Nationally, our class is ranked at 88. That is 30 spots better than a year ago. In just 2 years, I've grown that much. Our relative rank, which is more indicative of our efforts, is 78. The board is displeased with the result. I'm not. We have the lowest prestige in the nation, and we just finished 1-11. That's a good recruiting class for a new program. Season expectations. Media are predicting us to finish around 115th in the national rankings this season. We trust you could avoid finishing last in our division. Respectable place in the middle of the standings would be a good result. We understand that we will probably not be heading to a bowl game this season. The board will be satisfied with a respectable effort at least 4 wins. Signing day summary. Yeah, we got all those guys. Contract extension. Kirkwood signed his contract extension for $2.5 million over 7 years. That makes more sense than 2.5 years, $7 million. They had that reversed, but now we've got it right. So slight increase from $2 million to 2.5, but long-term deal, he'll be around for the foreseeable future. I might have to fire him at some point, though, to hire an upgrade. For now, he'll do. Okay, let's go ahead and delete all, so we're ready to move forward. And let's see, is it that time? It absolutely is that time. So we have 15 scholarships available this year. Much smaller number. Much smaller numbers. We're going to have to be a lot more selective in who and what we're going after. And that's going to require, first, an evaluation. So we'll get to that. The nice thing about 222 means that's 22 full-time 10-point guys plus a couple more points available, which is 15 scholarships. So we can actually go after more than one player initially and whittle that down over time. But we need to evaluate the roster before we can do anything else. And we'll go position by position. Quick glance at averages. We are strong at kicking, we are strong at the cornerback position, and we are strong at tight end. Quarterback not too shabby either. We've got 6 right now. Ooh. 3 seniors at quarterback. And our freshman, William Ware, is going to be the starter right off the bat. So that's something. Or could be, anyway. I mean, he's got the overall. But that's going to leave me with next year having a junior, a sophomore, and a sophomore. If he doesn't redshirt, and it's looking like he'll probably start instead of redshirting. So, with that in mind, I will need a quarterback. I need some depth there. Even though I won't necessarily need somebody who can start, because it looks like we've got a potential 4-year guy on that. Okay, running back. 1 senior. There are 2 freshmen right now. Guaranteed Ness is going to redshirt. That's a given. And then we'll be left with 2 seniors, 2 sophomores, 2 redshirt freshmen, or 3 sophomores and 1 redshirt freshman, depending on what we do with Hennessy. Right now, he would be our 3rd string guy, which means he actually would get some carries. Think about that and decide on that one a bit later, but I could use one. Definitely could use one. We've got one going out, and it's really good to have 1 running back a year, but not a major. That's a maybe. So I'll kind of put him in a 2nd tier right now. Fullback, I'm not going to need. And no, I'm totally fine there. And yes, is it? Who is our guy? Who is our guy? Hoffman, right? Hoffman's the transfer, so he's a junior. Oh, no. It's Collins. Collins is that transfer. So, redshirt freshman. 84. Wow. It's better than my running backs. Tight end. No need for a fullback, by the way. So, let's see here. Seniors. We've got 2 of them. And that's going to leave me with 4 players at the position. I will redshirt Charles Hart, even though he is an 80, because look at that quality ahead of him. 1 really good senior at an 85. Wilkins, the other true freshman, is also an 85, so those 2 guys are going to be the top 2 on the depth chart. And then you've got Packard, an 83rd string, so I'm really strong at tight end, extremely strong. And I'll be able to redshirt Hart. I could afford not to take one this season at tight end, even though I do have a senior outgoing. Wide receiver already looking thin immediately. Pitman is our top guy right off the bat. And Seaman, the other freshman, is our second best already as well. So 2 true freshmen are going to be the top 2 guys immediately. And I think actually is an improvement from where we were last year. I don't think I had anybody over 80. I have 1 senior. And most of these freshmen, like McNair, I think I can get away with redshirting McNair. But that's it. I need a wide receiver pretty desperately. Just 1, though. I really can't afford 2 people at any position this year. By the way, look how young we are. 35 freshmen on the roster right now. A lot of red shirts, but 20 new guys in. And we have gotten young. At least we'll have 20 next year. Okay, guards. Boy, that's a long list and only 1 senior. So, and he's nearly the worst guy. No guards. No guards. Only 1 freshman, though. And he will definitely redshirt. So I don't like that very much. I'd like to get 1 just to keep things. So maybe. We'll put that same tier as the running backs as thinking about it. Tackles, I have 2. They're both going to have to redshirt. Which means they'll both be freshmen next year, but I also have 2 outgoing, so I'm going to need 1 replacement. We're definitely thinner here than guard. Center. If we kind of go off of a 1 per year type thing. Boy, Roger Casillas, true freshman, almost better than the senior, but not quite. If I redshirt him, I've still got a depth chart that's almost the same, but it also, I suppose, depends on, let's see, run block. He's the best run blocker, but that's the most balanced guy. Just not the strongest or agile. I will have 3 guys next year, and they'll be pretty young, especially if I redshirt him. I could hold off on center for 1 year and then get 1 next year. Punter is definitely good. Kicker is definitely good. We did not take a tackle this last year, and I have 1 senior outgoing, so I will need 1 guy this year. Defensive end. We are young, no seniors, but only 5 on the depth chart. I would definitely like to get that up to 6, so we do need a defensive end. Just 1. Linebacker. Junior, freshman, junior, sophomore. 1 senior. And plenty of depth behind him. At most, we're looking at 1 replacement, but let's see. Our top guy is Duffy, all right, 87. Big jump from there down to a 75. So quality falls away pretty quick. Sean Ham is a 76, the true freshman. The other one, Ralph Clark's a 73. That puts him right into the mix. But I could definitely redshirt Clark. And then that would put me at 1 freshman next year, and I don't necessarily need another at this point. But we'll put it on the maybe list. Cornerback. Just 5 guys, but no seniors. 3 juniors, though, so I'll need one to just kind of keep things going along. Garcia's going to redshirt this season, I think, but I'm thin. Considering that you could have 2, maybe 3 on the field at the same time, that is very thin, so we will absolutely get a cornerback. Strong safety. A senior. Redshirt freshman, I didn't bring one in this year, so we need to bring in one to replace the senior for next year. And a free safety. No seniors, and we're going to redshirt this guy probably. He's second best, but with a small difference. It would be good to redshirt him and save a season. But it depends. We'll have to kind of see that depth chart and see if I just let him play out. But if I let him play out, then I need one to become the freshman next year. Put that on the maybe column. So right now, that's 7 definites, 4 maybes. That's 11. So I actually still have 4 more that I could bring in. So where to go, what to do for that. I get to pick 4 more. That means let's see here, where can we improve? We're still really weak at wide receiver and running back for that matter. Line is still bad, but it's better than it was. Defensive end is the weakest right now, but I am getting after one of those guys. I'm still really thin at cornerback, so I can use another cornerback. I don't have enough players, even though they're good. Defensive end is a similar issue. Just not enough depth or quality. And then 2 additional from there. I could just kind of go for whoever. Maybe another wide receiver. So there you go. There's our base point. Now on to actual recruiting of players. I know I'm not going to contest the 5-star guys. Not really the 4-star guys unless I get them late in the season. So we're looking at 3-star players. Definitely not 1-star players. And let's begin with those from our home state. Okay. Let's just start adding these guys in. Strong safety, yes. I am looking for a tight end. Am I not? No, I am not. Buddy's a high rank, top 500, so I'll go for him, but not other tight ends. And kind of a similar thing when it comes to center. We've got a good high rank. I'll go for him, but not others. Wide receiver. Okay, again, I don't need a tight end, and we've dropped down the rankings far enough that I'll let him go. Okay, cornerbacks. Tackle is a yes. Defensive end. Okay, running back, yes. Center was a no. These 3 guys are all super close to home, though, for a team based in Portland. These are all within a short drive. And are 3-star guys. Don't need a punter. Here's the last 3-star guy. Alright, there you go. That's all the 3 stars. Okay, let's open this back up to all. And then we'll go distance. And now we can start looking at positions. Guys, close to home. I do need quarterbacks, and right now, what do I have? Nothing. So we'll add those top guys. I'm going to add a little more to the list than I have in the past. Okay, running back. I need one, and it's not an urgent need. So we can go after one of these top guys. Don't need a fullback, do I? Right? Yes. Okay. Tight ends, not something that I need. I already added some. Anyway, wide receiver. Okay. Wide receiver. How are we looking on this one? 2 guys so far on the list. And we're looking for one good one. So let's take these 2 higher ranked guys and add them to the list. There we go. Guard. Not urgent, but definitely a need, and I've got no one on my list right now. So we'll take the top 3 guys. Tackle. Definitely a need. Ooh, only one 2-star guy here. Let's just add him in. Our list is at 26 right now, so we're definitely not taking everyone. Center, not really a need. And did I have someone? I do. Only one defensive tackle, so I do need reserves. Ooh, that's a nice high rank here. Go ahead and put all 3 of them in. Defensive end. I need double. What do I have so far? Just 1 guy, and there are 3 3-star guys, so add each of them. Linebacker, not urgent, but still a need, and there's 1. We'll take these next 2 highest. Okay, vanity depth is cornerback. There's already 2 there, so I'll just leave it at those 2. Strong safety. 1 guy on our list. And this is one of our bigger needs. That's a high rank. Let's try for you. And they're both high ranks. So I'll probably hit both of those guys pretty hard. Free safety. In fact, why don't I start right there? There's 10 points each. Schedule those interviews. And we'll do 10 and 10 initially. Okay, free safety. Yes, that's a need. And what do we have in the book so far? Just 1 guy, so we'll add him. And there you go. There's our initial set of recruits. A little over double what we can actually offer. But in terms of recruiting points, we should be able to target quite a few of these guys. So now into, we'll go all. Free safeties, 2 guys. It's a medium need. Why don't I start with the major needs? Quarterback. Something I could always improve on, even though it looks like I could have a 4-year starter on my hands. The better guy is clearly Williams, so let's start with right away to him. And we'll go 10 scouting points and an interview. And I'm just going to get an initial on these guys, 5 points each, and no interview yet. They're well behind on recruit rank. Running back, not a major need. Tight ends, not a need at all. Wide receiver. Still a big weakness for me. I've got two guys that are definitely higher in rank. One that's well below, and a good one. So let's start with these guys that are the highest rank. And then we'll go partial points on these other guys. Now, did I even go back for a second? Quarterback. I didn't even put anything on these guys. Why don't I go 3 and 3 just to test the waters a little? Okay, now I want to schedule for you and 10 points because you're the top dog, but so are you. So schedule at 10 points. These guys will get just the initial 5 and 5, and I'm already nearly out of points. Okay, tackle, it's a big one. And a huge difference top to bottom here. Probably going to go straight in and offer here. Do I want to do that though? I don't need to offer anything immediately. 10 points. We'll go 7 points, and we'll go 2 points. We have 10 points left. We'll go 5 and 5. That's going to use that up. The rest comes down to recruiting points now. And the next important one is defensive tackle. You are a very high rank. And I am willing to step up and spend a scholarship for somebody that far above the others that are beside him. We'll go 7 and 7 for these guys. Okay, defensive end. Nobody has a particularly high rank, so we'll just go 7 each. Just to get our feet wet. These guys are both up there. And I'm thinking about 2. If I'm thinking about 2 and I only have 2, we go 10 and 10 and offer scholarships. Strong safety, the last of kind of the urgent needs. And both of these guys are high up and I've already invested in them. Now back to the second tier running backs. Let's see, anybody with a high rank? Not necessarily. Maybe we go 6 across the board to each guy. Start testing the waters. Seeing what we get. We're down to 48. Guards. We got one that's a bit higher in rank. Let's go ahead and spend 8 on him. And then we'll go 5 and 5. Down to 30. Linebacker. Okay, we do have one guy that's much higher. So we'll go 8. You're not far behind, so we'll go 7. You are a bit further behind, we'll go 5. And finally, free safety. 10 points left. And it's clear where those points are going. Alright, so all the points spent, first 4 scholarships in, and we're in training camps. I've already got everything preset. And here we go, results. Training camp. So, the negative side, these guys, Pitman not improving at all. Hennessy not improving at all, so some of the freshmen coming in, Gary, starting running back, not improving at all, and Burden losing 1. But here's the big gains. Conger, the wide receiver, who had a lot of drops last year, but was one of our better guys. 21 points. Falcon, another wide receiver. Big gains there. Kaggle, really solid gains. Plenty of gains as a team, so a good amount of improvement in there. We'll see how much better Conger is now after that. Sophomore, just a 2-star guy, wide receiver, had a lower rank, but we'll see. What did that do? His pass blocking is much better. His intelligence is much better. His hands have improved. And his agility has improved. Okay, so training camp report. Again, Burden was a bit of a burden in the camp. Yeah, Conger, superstar. Look at that. Nice improvement across the board. Now, let's take a glance at wide receiver, where we had that big improvement. How did it show up? So Pitman, his 81 still there. Seaman's still the second best, but Falcon is better now. Conger jumps. He's a 74, so still not great. But he and Falcon both definitely improved there. Team leader, James Duffy, that 4-star guy that we were able to get at the last second as a transfer last season, now getting to play for us. Casillas, I love this one. 2-star guy, cornerback, true sophomore, already the second best player on the team. 2-star guy. That was a great find in that first season. William Ware is an 85 now, so his little bit of improvement was enough to boost him up from an 84 to an 85. Wilkins also, I think he was already an 85, but look at that. 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores in the 6 best players. And Collins, right? Let's throw him in there too. So 6 of the first 7 best players are all guys that I've recruited already. And they're all freshmen or sophomore. That is a real sign of what I can do in the long term with this series if I'm already managing to get guys that high up. We're still just recruiting 3-star guys. I mean, we're not even grabbing the 4-star recruits just yet. But from the first season to this last season, already a massive improvement. Okay, so we're going to be setting red shirts here soon, and I'll do that off camera as we're just about out of time. But looking at recruiting has not happened yet. Okay, so it's still ongoing. So actually, why don't we go ahead and work on those red shirts now, and that's what we'll kind of wrap up with as we are advancing into September. So it's just about that time. So quarterbacks. I have 1 freshman, but he is our top dog, so he is not going to redshirt. Here, Ness is definitely going to redshirt. Let's do that. There we go. Now the question that I still have is whether to redshirt Hennessy or not. You can see he is our 3rd best guy. Thompson is a couple points worse. And let's see, what are we looking at? Comparison between these 2 guys. He's got more speed. He's got much better hands. Intelligence. His agility is a little bit lower. Strength ever so slightly The hands are the big thing. In fact, he's the best receiver, at least out of the top 4 guys. But otherwise, we're talking about pretty minor difference outside of the hands. So, if I redshirt Hennessy, I'm gaining a full extra year of eligibility. Let's do it. I'm not going to burn a red shirt over having you as the 3rd string. If you were the 2nd string guy, I think I would save that red shirt and let him play. Nobody here. I could redshirt this sophomore though. Francisco Hodgson. You know what? Let's do it. I'm gonna redshirt you. Tight end. Okay, our freshmen are among the best. However, Charles, how do you compare to Packard? Packard's a sophomore. He's got a lot more agility. His hands are not as good, and I think that's all I need to know because we drop the ball a lot. So go ahead, redshirt. Well, redshirt 1, but Wilkins is going straight into the lineup. Wide receiver. Okay, McNair is the one and only that I would. He is 4th on the depth chart, and I think that's far enough down, especially with all the depth behind him. Make him a guy for the future. Our top guard here is Dickerson, and he's a 74. That's low enough, especially with another 74 and a bunch of 72s behind him, that we will go ahead and redshirt him. Tackle. Okay, both guys definitely going to redshirt. In fact, they're not even, like this one's not even good at his position yet. If I remember, those are 2 guys with high potential. I remember their scouting reports accurately. Our freshman here is 2nd string. He is almost as good as a senior, but it's also really close behind that. So we need a close comparison here. Intelligence is good. He is the best run blocker, but he is not a good pass blocker. I'm going to go ahead and redshirt him as well because there's 3 guys of similar quality, and I really am trying to look to the future, not necessarily to this season. Punter, I love this. I already have a guy. I'm going to redshirt you. We're going to get a whole extra year out of you. Especially with such a small difference. However, here, Sandy Clark is coming in already much better than David Randall. So I'm going to have both guys, which means I will eventually need to replace both. That's a slight concern. But if we wait a couple years and then get a kicker, depending on how good they are, we'll redshirt Sandy Clark or keep both of those guys and have them age out at the same time. No freshmen, and the best players are the ones that have not redshirted at some point. Defensive end. Okay. Bruno is a starter. We don't have the depth to redshirt, and Hare's going to get a lot of time. You got 2 guys on the field all the time. So we're talking about the next go-to guy. meaning he's going to get solid minutes, and we don't have any depth, so no red shirts there. Clark, definitely going to red shirt. He's far enough down the list, especially when you have like an 87. So let's go ahead and activate that red shirt. Ham is a starter. And we got a freshman here in Garcia. That only leaves me 4 guys. That's actually kind of rough. I feel like I can't redshirt him just so that I have some depth. Speed, not good. His hands are good though, and he's got the best IQ out of all the corners. Second best tackler. I'm surprised he's not rated higher. Doesn't have any agility. At least not much. Oh, this is a difficult one. I'd like to redshirt him. But we need him. We're going to get too many minutes out of him. Okay, nobody here. And finally, last one. And same with Escobar. Too good, too high up the depth chart. However. No, same problem. Alright. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.